West Side Reservoir to the Shirley Clark Franklin Park and rename Central Avenue Shirley Clark Franklin Boulevard. Thank you.
Thank you. Next will be the Kelpian Homes. Judy, over time, you're up to 4 minutes.
My name is Kelvin Holmes. I'm the mother of Eric Holmes, in case you guys are familiar with him. He was a 19-year-old murdered out in Clayton County. That officer received 7 murder charges for murdering my son, and he walked free like almost every other officer in this state has done. It was Eric Holmes that introduced me to things that were going on in the city of Atlanta, introduced me to the officials in the Capitol that I would have never knew. It was Eric Holmes that got me standing out here today to say that you will roll over someone sleeping in the street just to beautify. You will roll over someone sleeping just to beautify your streets. Seeing that happen, it just, even when you guys were up there taking pictures, to people that are out here experiencing this type of brutality, it makes you sick on the stomach. I had a high respect for positions. I thought everyone in these positions actually cared. But when you're looking at a state that has almost zero accountability, when you're looking at officers that are out here charged with 7 murder charges, and when you're looking at individuals that are rolled over while sleeping, someone's gonna have to ask themselves, what are we doing? You guys got to make it matter to you. I never thought it would be my son. I told my children, don't come in this house saying no Black Lives Matter, because I thought everything they said on the media was true. Until I realized my son had a conversation with an officer that the media said they had an altercation. Run that videotape back, no altercation. 10 minutes of a conversation for my son to be shot by a man that wasn't even certified to have a gun. How is officers out on the street not even certified to have a gun? I met Mr. Hill in this fight. I seen how he was fighting. I didn't know where I was ending up at downtown. I'm like, it happened in Clayton County, but God knows, no matter where I have to go, I realized it was bigger than Eric's life. It was only because there were so many lives before Eric that it was allowed to be Eric. If you guys do not make any difference in what is going on with these officers and the things they are getting away with, it's going to continue to be people. You got to make the lives matter. I was told sometimes it don't matter to y'all until it happened to one of y'all. Don't let it happen. They do not care. Mr. Hill mentioned something about health, and I sit here with a scarf on my head because I can't afford to take care of my health now. I quit my job. I work at a chicken restaurant just to fight for my baby. I said if I gotta go back to what I used to do as a teenager versus going back out here working inside of the corporate world, trying to make ends meet, paying property taxes and everything else, and you just kill my child and I'm just supposed to walk like nothing happened. DA told me, well, I'm not going back up for charges. I watched Chris Carr dispute a case. You guys look up Justice for the Rainbow House. And you guys hold Chris Carr responsible for that. That DA sat over that Rainbow House while those kids were molested. Why is it no charges? See, the problem is we are murdered for things that you say we do. And you guys get to do things in seats that we're paying for, and you just walk like it don't matter. You overlook each other. When I see the things that are overlooked, and I tell you, all I know to do is research all night long. I probably went and pulled every old article I can on everybody. Because I said, if it's good for my son, I want everyone held accountable. I've been at everybody. Marvin, you can ask him, he's probably like, what happened to this little boy, Eric? Everyone may want to know what happened, why she and everyone. I feel like if it's good for us in the streets, it's good for you guys in the seats. Don't let it be us and it can't be you. My son life matter. Jimmy life matter. That man sleeping and rolling over while he was sleeping, his life matter. And until their life matter, then no life will matter. All I say to you guys is care and hold these people responsible.
Thank you. Ricky Brown.
Long black ball.
Judy, on the time, y'all have to eat.
Good evening, Council. My name is Ricky Brown. I'm citizen of this city. I'm also a business owner in this city. I want to just correct a couple of things that we said earlier. I believe in holding people accountable. Very hard on holding people accountable. I heard someone say that Mayor Dickens did not contact the family of the young man that was accidentally killed in the homeless encampment. That's not true. Mayor Dickens did contact the attorney and that family. So I believe in holding people accountable. When people, things are not said right, I believe in correcting this also. Some of my heroes in this city go all the way back to Hosea Williams. I moved to this city back in the early 80s from a small town in North Carolina. So I consider myself a person that is considered, I say, born and raised here because I've been here so long. Some of my heroes were Hosea Williams and Julian Bond Sr. and Joe Boone and Abernathy. So I go all the way back to those days. I'm here today as a concerned citizen of this city. I sat here in this council on last week, and I heard something, and I heard some things that very disturbed me deeply. When I see the OIG, Inspector General, when she has the power, took in the power to go into people's personal bank accounts, citizens' bank accounts. This is an employee of the city of Atlanta, as far as I'm concerned. She worked for me. And to see and hear that she went into people's personal bank accounts was very, very disturbing. If we got a rogue OIG in this city that's doing things like that, then that needs to be dealt with. That needs to be dealt with swiftly. And when I look at, had my office to look up the abuse of office and conflict of interest and ethics of standards. I had my office to look it up. And after reading some of the things in this letter, I'm trying to figure out why this lady's not in handcuffs. I don't believe in holding back when you can go into people's accounts just because you don't like what they say, or because you feel that you're above. And then on top of that, to overhear her say that if she don't get her way, basically, she's gonna burn the city down. Who says that as an employee of the city? Because you don't get your way and people not doing what you want them to do, you decide you want to say that you're going to burn the city down. Well, I say to you, Ms. OIG, you're in the wrong city. This is Atlanta, Georgia. This is the city of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and we don't play. So if you think you're going to burn that city down, we got a whole lot of water to put it out. And we're going to send you back to New York where you come from. So I say today, this OIG, because of what she has done, and the ethical violations that she has violated, and violated the citizens' rights of this city, I demand, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of people demand, that this lady needs to be not only fired, resigned, that office needs to be closed until it's reinvestigated. And we need to cut our email off. We need to go through everything and find out how many other citizens' accounts has she went in. That's none of my account is none of her business. So I don't think my personal account and anybody's personal account, even council, it's none of their business. And for her to do that is very, very disturbing. You've got people in the city, employees that are running around scared because she's knocking on their doors in the middle of the night, walking up into their offices with camera pens and camera glasses. I mean, she's running around like she's the FBI. I mean, some of these people thought it was ice cream when this one was running people's houses. So I'm just very, very disturbed of that. And as a citizen of this city, as a voter of this city, I'm demanding her resignation. I'm demanding that we elected you. We elected the 61st mayor of the city of Atlanta, Mayor Andre Dickens. We elected you as city council. And we elected you guys to protect us as citizens of this city. So we're going to hold you accountable to hold her accountable. That's right. In this city. Nobody's going to burn this city down because there's too many of us in this city, in this room, and we got fire extinguishers. That's right. Y'all have a good day. We're demanding that she be fired today and walked out of here.
Thank you. Next up will be Dean Brock. Dean Brock. Next will be Dr. Robert Franklin. Due to yield the time, you'll have up to 6 minutes.
To this honorable council, I rise to support the recommendation of the commission developed to honor Mayor Shirley Clark Franklin, renaming of the street and a park. It was my great pleasure to be a part of a very distinguished commission. And we all know the extraordinary record of this historic mayor, so I need not belabor that. I would simply make 2 simple points. Such honors should be rare and should be well considered. And secondly, the due diligence challenge of this commission, as I served on it, was to find an honor that was high visibility, high impact on the consciousness of the city and the world. And secondly, the least amount of disruption and confusion. And I believe that the recommendation of this commission meets those tests. I hope that you will support this effort. It will speak well to our city and indeed to the legacy of all who currently serve on this council. Shirley reminds me of a saying by one great theologian, Reinhold Niebuhr, who said, nothing worth doing can be completed in a single lifetime. Therefore, we must be saved by hope. And nothing that is true or good or beautiful makes complete sense in any immediate context of history. Therefore, we must be saved by faith. And nothing truly virtuous can be completed alone. Therefore, we must be saved by love. And on behalf of the rest of our commission, we thank you for your attention. We thank you for your support. This is an act of faith, hope, and love. Thank you.
Thank you. Next will be Jim Martin. You'll have up to 2 minutes.
Yes, thank you, Jim Martin. I'm a resident of Berkeley Park, chairman of the neighborhood planning D. I can speak to you about the OIG legislation. You also received an email from me expressing my disgust and dismay over the process of this legislation and the content of the proposed legislation. I spoke to the content in the committee meeting this morning, and so I'm going to speak to you now about the process. Why are we rushing this through? Councilman Shook said that we all agreed there was something here that needed to be fixed. I see nothing here that needs to be fixed. Although this legislation proposes subpoena changes, it was only last week apparently that the city attorney saw information about actual subpoenas. And the only issue that was fueled by those seems to be resolved with a brief exchange of communications. No legislation is required. As Councilor Bacchiari said this morning, time is needed to inform your constituents about what is going on. And that is going to be difficult to do because of all of the disinformation that is being circulated in the media, by the administration, and by speakers before me at this lecture here today. The number of doors that were knocked on in the middle of the night was 0. You should know that. The number of subpoenas that have been issued for financial records over the entire lifetime of the OIG's office was 48. I know this because I filed an open records request. We don't need to shut down the office and write through the filing cabinets to find this out. This is commonly available public information. Why are we rushing this through? The legislation as is formulated seems intended to permit as much corruption, fraud, waste, and abuse as the public is willing to tolerate. Each successive round of public meetings has reduced this and thereby improved the legislation. More public meetings will only make this better. Rushing forward will only make this worse. I admit that in my opinion, the best legislation in this regard is no legislation at all. All that we need is for our officials to comply with the spirit and the letter of existing laws and to cooperate with this office in order to achieve our goals. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Jeannie. Due to yield the time, I'll have up to 4 minutes.
Hello, regardless of race, religion, culture, financial ability, we all deserve a place to live, a place to call home. We all deserve to be treated as equal. We shouldn't be laying on the ground, sleeping. We shouldn't be feeling like a wild animal, turned away from multiple shelters. We all deserve respect. Of domestic violence, sexual assault, rape, theft by deception, 4 attempted murders, we all need to wake up and realize that it's about love. Bottom line, where's all this money going? There's a huge need for homeless, for domestic violence, for sexual assault, for rape, for theft by deception, for attempted murders. And to have a shower once a week? Come on. Nobody should feel and stink. Nobody should have to go to the nearest tree to pee and to crap. Nobody should be sleeping on the sidewalk or in the grass or in the dirt. There's all this land. Where's it all going to? All this land to make this area beautiful. Come on, what about the humans? What about all these people out here that's been murdered, that's been raped, that's been sexually assaulted, that's been everything stolen? You're told to go to a hospital to stay warm. A hospital where you have to have all these tests done. I stand here for everybody, not only in Atlanta or Georgia or all these states. It's not about the states, it's about human rights. All countries, all humans, we all matter. We all deserve to be respected. We all deserve a home, a place to call home. Not temporary, a permanent place. And another thing is I've searched for so many jobs to be turned away. That's sad. Turned away from a job because I don't meet their quality, which I know for a fact I do.
Time is expired.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Valerie Johnson. Johnson. Let me see. It says Johnson with yielded time. But yes, I think it is. I think it is yes. I don't know why it's put it that way. You have up to 6 minutes.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Margaret Anderson. Wednesday, February 5th, we made 6 months that lawless drunk Megan Carter murdered my son. And he has not been held accountable yet in 6 months. As I said before, the months is going up. That's going to turn into years. And Megan Carter is still home collecting a check for murdering my son and hasn't been arrested. Has not been arrested, has not been charged, has not been anything since he murdered my son. Now, again, why is Megan Carter being treated differently? Because he's an officer. My son was my son. My son is my son. And what Melvin Carter did was, Melvin Carter did this to me, my family, and his friends. But what he wouldn't do is, he wouldn't take my son's name. He wouldn't take my son's memories, and he wouldn't take the people that loved him. Melvin Carter can't take that. He took it physically from me, but he can't take his name. He can't take his heart, he can't take his spirit. Because I don't think Melvin Carter ever was shown or known about that type of love. Because my son was greatly and deeply loved. So I want to know why Melvin Carter is still not arrested. I want to know why. His records show too many wrongdoings he's an officer from 2015 to 2018, up until he murdered my son August 5th, 2024. Why is Melvin Carter home collecting a check? Why am I getting up every day crying and missing my son? Why? Because again, if my son did that to Melvin Carter, my son would be in jail. My son probably wouldn't even make it to jail. They would beat him. Why? Because he killed an officer. So what makes it different? Why is it different? He's a lawless drunk that murdered my son. And that's not a question. That's a given. Because his record has shown excessive force, allegation of domestic violence. I mean, it goes on and on and on. And I realized coming down here today, I never really showed you all my son's picture. You see it from afar, but you never got to look at my son's face. So I want you all to see for the first time my son, Devon Anderson Jr., face. You understand what I'm saying? My son got Melvin Carter murdered. Feel free to open it too. Thank you. That Melvin Carter murdered my son. And I'm going to have him held accountable for murdering my son. I don't care how long it takes. As I've stated many, many times before, and I will say many, many times again, I do not care how long it takes. He's a murderer. On top of that, he's a lawless drunk murderer. He was sworn to protect, not to murder. And he murdered my son. And I'm not going to rest. It's sad, it hurt my heart today to hear all the two people that son was murdered. As a parent, how do you reconcile with that? How do you? Somebody that was sworn to protect is a murderer, a senseless, drunk murderer. Well, I'm not going to. proposal. I'm going to hold them accountable because APD is protecting their own. So since APD choose to protect a lawless drunk, I am here present showing up for my son. Not going anywhere. Not going anywhere. Because like, my son was a human being. Now, my son was a human being. And if you're sworn to protect, honor your job. Honor your job. This is what I have to say. City Council has the power of the purse over APD. City Council can dock APD's allowance for misbehavior. Shifting spending from bad officers' salary can be used to keep officers honest with alcohol and drugs, screening to reward good behavior and to bring better officers. It needs better officers. They need better training. They need better everything. The lawlessness of these police officers is staggering. Staggering. They're doing all this wrongdoing and they're not being held accountable and getting slapped on the wrist. They're not being held accountable in any way. Why? But if you all won't do it, mother is here to do it. So they're going to answer to do it.
Next up is Tim Franzen. I believe he departed. Next is Adjo Badu. Adwa. Thank you. You'll have up to 2 minutes.
I'm a first-year law student at Georgia State University College of Law, and this is my first time making a public comment with the City Council, and I wish I were doing it under better circumstances, and I wish I had a better impression of the City Council, but I'll be completely honest, I don't. Because I come here with my head covered. In my culture, when you come with your head covered, you're mourning. And I come to you with my head covered today because before I was here, I was at the funeral of Cornelius Taylor. And I marched up here behind his body, behind his casket. I missed my classes to see him off. And my community members have already told you the story of Mr. Taylor, who was crushed by an Atlanta bulldozer across the street from where MLK preached a gospel about a brown refugee born without a home who grew up to teach, blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. And blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. And as a law student, I grow tired of seeing the law being used as something to stand against the people and then to hide your hands once the law hurts the people. It is my first time here, and I am already tired of council members who hide behind procedures and nearly 90 minutes of proclamations patting themselves on the back for hours, all to wait on a family who are burying their brother or child. As we speak, a community grieving due to the gross negligence of the city of Atlanta and the initial feeble attempt to cover up the real violence with a story that doesn't make sense about a drug overdose that was clearly fabricated. Pass a permanent moratorium on sweeps, no exceptions, no qualifications, indefinitely. Long live Cornelius Taylor. I yield my time.
Sharice Brown. This will be Matthew Mercy. You'll have up to 2 minutes.
Hello, yes. My name is Matthew Nursey. I'm with the Housing Justice League and the Justice for Cornelius Coalition. Some of us had to leave to go feed the folks who are still living down Old Week Street. So that's why some of our speakers had to depart a little early. I'm here to ask that we stop the sweeps permanently. No exceptions, no caveats like we won't use the use of heavy machinery and equipment anymore. No. We can't have people going to these encampments and forcing our neighbors out without having a place for them to go. Not temporarily, but permanently. We have to fix this, y'all. And the only way we're gonna do it is by providing housing first, wraparound services next. Healthcare, job placement, therapy, whatever's needed. But first we gotta get people into quality, permanent, long-term housing. And it has to be public. This can't be something that we go looking to the private sector to help. You know, we love our friends at Invest Atlanta, but this has to be done by the city of Atlanta. Okay? And so we need an investment from y'all. This is the moment. It's an opportunity to do right. As I said before, to chart a new Atlanta way that puts its people first. Because again, as it's been said, just outside this building, we have our neighbors living in tents when they could be living in a home, in a nice apartment. We have money to do it. I see the budget that y'all come up with, 30% for police. The mayor wants to talk about giving infrared to Public Works to conduct these sweeps. With what money? Y'all need to readjust and reallocate your funds.
Next is Monica Johnson. You want up to 2 minutes.
I have come up here several times to speak and to honor the name of Cornelius Taylor. There is only so many ways to say what needs to be said. My colleague here basically already told you guys what's necessary. We can't keep doing the same thing and wanting different results. We can't keep expressing outrage and dismay and disappointment when people are harmed and killed, and continuing to put the responsibility elsewhere. There's been a lot made of the political situation we're in now. A lot of people are afraid, a lot of people are condemning Trump administration. But I want to say that the way that people have been experiencing life in Atlanta, the way that homeless people, working class people are discarded and treated as nothing, this is the vision of the right. It's already come to pass in Atlanta and many cities. That there are no services for people, that we have to scrape for that money, but we have millions upon millions upon millions for police and jails. This is the same project of privatization, of leaving each and every one of us who have to pay into this system under threat of jail. We have to pay into this, but we don't get much back. So if you care, it's time to try something new. It's time to stop pretending like half measures are gonna cut it. And it's time to recognize that every human being deserves a place to live, deserves to be supported, and that you are the ones who can make that change.
Thank you. Next up is Elizabeth Omalami. Next up is Afema Omalami. Next is Nolan English. Next is Vera Allen. Next is Jawahir Sharwani. We'll have up to 2 minutes. Oh, sorry, just one moment before you start. We're having a little trouble with our system, so the clerk's going to keep time to still ring the bell. So you won't be able to see it, but we'll keep time. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Jawahir Sharwani, and I came in here a couple of times to speak on behalf of Cornelius Taylor. And today I went to his funeral. This is the first funeral for me to be. I've been here for 28 years, and it was really overwhelming to go see our funeral. and I don't know what is the feeling, but when I walked in there, I saw his soul was everywhere, and he was speaking to all of us. We need to stop the sweep. We need permanent houses, and we need justice for all the homeless. They have the right to live in a home like all of us. We can't, maybe we can't afford it, like for us, but I know you guys in power to be able to do that and cut a lot of the police, you know, there's a lot of cases here I heard is all about police brutality or this you know, person, this life got taken by police or by mistake. We're not here in a therapy session that we gotta come every week and speak. We're here to make actually a change. And I know you guys, all of you have heart and you have the power to do that. To let everybody, homeless or not homeless, on a drug dose or not a drug dose, the person who pulled the bulldozer down, who drove the bulldozer over Cornelius, he was not on drugs. He was not high. He was not, whatever the things that's going to be said about Cornelius' life. And instead of honoring his life, we're trying to make all these lives about why we made that mistake, why the city made that mistake. He was not driving the bulldozer 100 miles an hour on the highway that he couldn't stop. It's just basically, it's injustice. Everybody has the right to live despite their color, their gender, their religion, their beliefs, their which city. They have the right to have a home. They have the right to speak. We are their voice, and we're going to be coming in here. We're going to keep coming speaking up. We're going to be in the street. We're going to be speaking for everybody. And I know you guys have a heart, so please, I know that this is in your power. Please try to make a change to get justice for every homeless and every person. Thank you.
Thank you. Our final speaker today is Kay Marie Presley. You'll have up to 2 minutes.
Yes, good afternoon. My name is Kay Marie Presley. I am the face of Cornelius LaShawn Taylor. 12 years ago, I was homeless. I came to this very city council asking for help, and nobody would help me. I thank God for Ebenezer Baptist Church and Reverend Shannon Jones, because at the time I was able to go to their benevolent fund, and they were able to help me. But I have to say something, and this is what Dr. King says. The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in the moment of comfort and convenience, but where he stands in the time of challenges and controversy. This is a very challenging and controversial subject, and it's not going away. We sit and we watch the TV and we're wondering about the airplanes falling, but brace for impact. Brace for impact, because this city is going to have a reckoning because it chooses to ignore homeless people like myself and like Cornelius. So brace for impact. Don't sit around and watch just the television and wonder about the airplanes that are colliding. We have a collision right here in America, where the city council and our government is willing to spend money on wars and to find out if mice in the whatever experiment, but they're not willing to invest in their people. Brace for impact, because we have mothers that are crying out right now that have been dealing with brutality and their children have been shot. Brace for impact, because this is a bad script that has been written by some malfunctioning, malfeasance director, and it's not going to win any Academy Awards. Brace for impact and do something. Do something. This is why they elected you, and this is why we elect you. Whether you're in New York City or anything, shame on America, shame on the city council itself. Brace for impact, because the problem is not going away. Thank you.
Thank you. And one more speaker who was called earlier is here now, President Mosley. Up to 2 minutes.
Hey, how y'all doing? 24. Walmart, but I young bus had to walk from Doraville to 5 Points, all type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I can see the life of that cold everywhere, 3 layers, 4 layers of clothes. So I understand homeless. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people don't understand that you are homeless when you are under somebody else's lease temporarily, permanently. You're under someone else's lease. Your name's not on the lease. You may be paying bills, you may be helping, but that's not your apartment. Due to Islamic literature, 50% of our religion is marriage, knowing how to care for your wife, your inheritance, your legacy. The positivity, deeds that are coming forth due to the economic changes like natural disasters, or even things that's happening in the community, homosexuality. I don't have no different about it, but it's reality. This is what's happening to the generations that are younger than me. This is what they've been abused with. And I'm just here today to just speak on my behalf about me being homeless and the things that I have experienced through level 5 prison, Smith State Prison, Hayes State Prison, sweet dude. And then going to a medium security, you know what I'm saying? Having other things change, but like it's not the change, it's the fact that I'm starting to not like my city due to the experience of my city. And I can't leave because I'm on probation due to someone else's mistake.
Thank you. I want to thank everybody who's come today to sign up to speak before council. We will now move to the report of the journal. Madam Clerk.
Good afternoon, Council President, members of council. I, Corinne Lindo, Municipal Clerk of the City of Atlanta, do hereby certify that the minutes of the regular meeting held on Thursday, January 23rd, 2025 are true and correct.
If there are no additions or edits to the journal, I would accept the motion to adopt. Moved by Councilor Wong, second by Councilor Schultz. During the session, motion to adopt the journal. Hearing none, move this meeting unanimous consent. Any objection? Madam Clerk, please sign the count of unanimous consent.
12 yeas, 0 nays.
12 yeas, 0 nays. The motion to adopt the journal carries. Next, we move to communications. Madam Clerk.
Item number 1 is 25C0007. This is communication from Council President Doug Shipman appointing Ms. Jennifer Freeman to serve as a member of the Atlanta Commission on Women. This appointment is for a term of 2 years. Staff recommendation to refer to Committee on Council.
Yeah, let the item follow that course.
Mr. President, there are no objections. If I can take item 2 to 4 in the block.
Please proceed.
Item number 2 is 25C0008. This is communication from Attorney James Radford submitting the appointment of Ms. Sally Flock to serve as a member of the City of Atlanta Americans with Disabilities Act Advisory Committee. Item number 3 is 25C0009. This is a communication from Attorney James Radford submitting the appointment of Ms. Maria Statinover to serve as a member of the City of Atlanta Americans with Disability Act Advisory Committee. And item number 24 is 25C0010. This is a communication from Attorney James Radford submitting the appointment of Mr. Cardin Wyckoff to serve as a member of the City of Atlanta Americans with Disabilities Act Advisory Committee. On all these items, staff recommendation to refer to Transportation Committee and Committee on Council.
The items follow that course.
Mr. President, there are objections. If I can take item 5 to 10 as a block.
Please proceed.
Item number 5 is 25C0011. This is a communication from Mary Shaw, Strategic Benefits Advisors, Inc., submitting the City of Atlanta Firefighters Pension Fund election results, identifying Mr. Derek Hollander as their representative to serve as a member of the City of Atlanta Defined Benefits Pension Plan Investment Board. This appointment is for a term of 3 years and set to expire December 3rd, 2027. Item number 6 is 25C0012. This is a communication from Mary Shaw, Strategic Benefits Advisor, Inc., submitting the City of Atlanta Police Officers Pension Fund election results, identifying Mr. Richard Light as their representative to serve as a member of the City of Atlanta Defined Benefit Pension Plan Investment Board, this reappointment is for a term of 3 years and set to expire December 31st, 2027. Item number 7 is 25C 0013. This is communication from Mary Shaw, Strategic Benefits Advisor, Inc., submitting the City of Atlanta General Employees Pension Fund election results and identifying Mr. Alfred Berry Jr. as their representative to serve as a member of the City of Atlanta Defined Benefits Pension Plan Investment Board. This reappointment is for a term of 3 years and set to expire December 31st, 2027. Item number 8 is 25C 0014. This is communication from Mary Shaw, Strategic Benefits Advisor, submitting the City of Atlanta Public Schools General Employees Pension Fund election results, identifying Mr. Quentin Hutchins as their representative to serve as a member of the City of Atlanta Defined Benefits Plan Investment Board. This is appointment for a term of 3 years and set to expire December 31st, 2027. Item number 9 is 25C 0015. This is a communication from council members Jason Winston, District 1, Amir Baroki, District 2, Byron Amos, District 3, Jason Dozer, District 4, and Michael Julian Bond, Post 1 at Large, appointing Mr. Matthew Garber to serve as a member of the Artificial Intelligence Committee. Item number 10, 25C 0016. This is communication from Mason Rainey, Vice President of Public Affairs, Technology Association of Georgia, appointing Mr. Larry Williams to serve as a member of the Artificial Intelligence Commission. All those items, Mr. President, staff recommendation to accept and file.
Let all those items follow the course.
Item number 11 is 25C 0017. This is communication from Council President Doug Shipman, appointing Mr. Leo Borkland to serve as a member of the Beltline Tax Allocation Advisory Committee. This appointment is for a term of 2 years. Staff recommendation to refer to Community Development and Human Services Committee. And Committee on Council.
Yeah, to follow that course.
Item number 12, 25C 0018. This is communication from Municipal Clerk Corinne Windows, submitting a report of administrative corrections made to previously adopted legislation between the regular council meeting dates of January 23rd, 2025 and February 3rd, 2025 to the Atlanta City Council in accordance with Section 2-275 of the Atlanta City Code of Ordinances to correct ordinances 24O, 1507, and 24R, 3990. Staff recommendation to accept and file.
Okay, I follow that course.
That concludes the communication on.
Thank you. Is there any vetoed legislation?
There's none.
Thank you. We do have one piece of unfinished business, 24-R-4601, which was held at the request of council at the last meeting. Chair Winston, I believe that you made that motion, so I will turn it back to you as it comes back before us.
Thank you, Council President. I'm still waiting on one piece of information for a point. Still tabled for the moment.
Are you wanting to still consider it in today's meeting? You think you're going to get that piece of information? So, if you move unanimous consent, if you move, to postpone, and we get a second, we can vote to do that. So I can entertain a motion to postpone.
Like make a motion to postpone?
Motion by, you have to enumerate it one more. It's all, standing committee meetings, standing committee reports are over, perhaps?
Correct.
Okay.
I would like to make a motion to postpone at the conclusion of the standing committee.
There's a motion by Councilor Winston to postpone this item until the end of the standing committee reports. There's a second by Councilor Laws. Any discussion on the motion to postpone this item? We do this via unanimous consent without objection or objection. Madam Clerk, please sound the count unanimous consent on the motion to postpone.
14 yeas, 0 nays.
14 yeas, 0 nays, motion to postpone carries. We will now move to the consent agenda section 1. These are items that begin on page 6. They are items for second reading, therefore the appropriate motion will be to adopt. But first, let me ask, are there any items to be removed from the consent agenda? Councilmember.
Mr. President, this isn't to remove one, but I did want to at least acknowledge that the zoning committee papers are appearing on the first time on the consent agenda, I believe, from guidance from law. So we have just one, before I make a motion to adopt the agenda, I think it's worth hearing from law as to that.
Yes, good afternoon, Steve Amber A. Robinson, City of Atlanta Department of Law. That's correct, the zoning procedures law would permit this, and this is to ensure, in agreement with the chair of the zoning committee, that the zoning committee procedures are following the procedures as applied to all of the other committees. So this is actually making this process comport with the process as adopted with concerning the rest of the committees.
Thank you, Mr. President, with that acknowledgement and that explanation.
Let me first entertain any other items here, and I'll come back. Are there any items to remove from the consent agenda today? Section 1. Councilor Wentz.
Thank you, Council President. I have two items. First is 25-RS 3081, it's on page 17, item number 10. The second item is 25-R-3086, it's on page 17, also item number 13.
So we're moving 24R 3081 and 3086. Any other items for removal from the consent agenda section 1 today? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to adopt two items removed. Moved by Councilor Juan, seconded by Councilor Bakhtiari. Any discussion on the motion to adopt the consent agenda section 1 with two items removed? Hearing none, move to vote. Madam Clerk, please open the vote on the motion to adopt the consent agenda section 1 with two items removed.
The vote is open. Will everyone please vote? The vote is closed. 13 yeas, 1 nay.
13 yeas, 1 nay. The motion to adopt consent agenda section 1 with two items removed carries. Councilor Hillis.
You can make a motion to move 24O1622, item 10 on page 9, post haste to the mayor.
There's a motion to move 24-0-1622 post haste. We may have an additional friendly addition. Councilor Schrupp.
Yes, I would like to add to that, item 17 on page 19.
You just read the number real quick.
25R 301.
Councilor Hillis, do you accept the addition to your motion?
Yes.
So there's a motion by Councilor Hillis to move two items to the mayor's office post haste 24-0-1622 and 25R-3010. Is there a second? Seconded by Councilor Juan. Is there any discussion on the motion to post haste? These two items. We do see unanimous consent without objection. Councilor Dozier. You have an additional one?
Yes, Mr. President, my apologies, we'll take today. Wanted to also add item 24-1617.
24-R, O dash, what is it?
24-1617.
1617. Councilor Hillis, would you accept that addition as well?
Yes.
Okay, thank you for your generosity, Councilor Hillis. So there's a motion by Councilor Hillis to move these three items to the mayor's office post haste. Do I still have a second for me by Councilor Juan? Seconded by Councilor Juan. Any discussion on the motion to move three items post haste to the mayor's office? Reduce unanimous consent without objection or objection. Madam Clerk, please sign the count of unanimous consent on the motion to move these three items post haste.
14 yeas, 0 nays.
14 yeas, 0 nays. These three items moved post haste is approved. Next, we will move to the consent agenda section 2. These are items on page 24. They are for first reading, therefore the appropriate motion will be to refer. First, let me ask, are there any items to be removed from the consent agenda section 2? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to refer. Moved by Councilor Juan. Is there a second? Seconded by Councilor Shook. Any discussion on the motion to refer the consent agenda section 2? Hearing none, we move to a vote. Madam Clerk, please open the vote. The motion to refer.
The vote is open. Will everyone please vote? Will everyone please vote? The vote is closed. 14 yeas, 0 nays.
14 yeas, 0 nays. The motion to refer carries. We'll now move to the report of standing committees. First up today is the zoning committee, Chair Westmoreland.
Good afternoon, colleagues. We have two items. One is ordinance for second read, 23-17-13, U 2438, 2341 Daniel Road Southwest, to ordinance for special use permit for personal care home. Recommendation of the committee is to file.
Motion by the committee to file 24-0-1713 doesn't need a second. Is there any discussion on the motion to file this item? Hearing none, move to vote. Madam Clerk, please open the vote on the motion to file.
The vote is open. Will everyone please vote? The vote is closed. 14 yeas, 0 nays.
14 yeas, 0 nays. The motion to file carries.
Thank you. Next, I'd like to make a motion to enter in the committee of the whole.
There's a motion by Councilor Westmoreland to enter the committee of the whole. Is there a second? Second by Councilor Amos. During discussion on the motion to move committee of the whole. We do this via unanimous consent. Without objection, any objection? Madam Clerk, please sound the count on unanimous consent on the motion to move committee of the whole.
14 yeas, 0 nays.
14 yeas, 0 nays. The motion carries. We're now in committee of the whole. Chair Westmoreland.
Thank you. I will recognize Councilmember Amos.
Yes, sir. I'd like to bring the paper off hail on item page 28, item number 8, 24-0-1645. Make a motion to amend.
Sorry, missing the motion real quick.
To bring it off hail, I make a motion to amend.
Motion to amend by Councilor Amos, seconded by Councilor Bakhtiari. Any discussion on the motion to amend, or perhaps you could share the amendment?
The amendment, I don't change the caption, it just adds the recommended conditions by zone.
Any discussion on the motion to amend 24-0-1645? Hearing none, we can move to vote. Madam Clerk, please open the vote on the motion to amend.
The vote is open. Will everyone please vote? The vote is closed. 14 yeas, 0 nays. 15 yeas, 0 nays.
15 yeas, 0 nays. The motion to amend carries.
I'll now make a motion to exit committee of the whole. I'll make a motion to adopt the amendment.
Second.
There's a motion by Councilor Westmoreland, seconded by Councilor Amos to adopt 24-0-1645 as amended. Is there any discussion on the motion to adopt as amended this item? Hearing none, move to vote. Madam Clerk, please open the vote.
Mr. President, can we take a roll call vote? We're having some system issues.
Sure. The roll call vote, then the motion is to adopt as amended 24-0-1645. Councilor Winston? Aye. Councilor Berkey?
Yay.
Councilor Amos?
Yay.
Councilor Dozier?
Yay.
Councilor Bakhtiari? Councilor Juan? Councilor Shuck? Councilor Norwood? Councilor Helmets? Councilor Boone? Councilor Overstreet? Councilor Lewis? Councilor Bond? Aye. Councilor Westmoreland? Aye. Councilmember Holland?
I can hear Mr. Wong, was that a nay? Aye. That's 15 yeas, 0 nays.
15 yeas, 0 nays. Motion to approve as amended carries.
Make a motion to exit committee of the whole.
Motion by Councilor Westmoreland, second by Councilor Bakhtiari to exit committee of the whole. Any discussion on this motion? We do this via unanimous consent without objection. Any objection? Madam Clerk, please sound the count on unanimous consent on the motion to move out of committee.
15 yeas, 0 nays.
15 yeas, 0 nays. The motion carries. We're now back in regular session.
Motion to adopt all actions taken from committee of the whole.
Second.
Motion by Councilor Westmoreland, second by Councilor Amos to adopt all the actions taken in committee of the whole. Is there any discussion? We do this in unanimous consent without objection. Any objection? My clerk, please sound the count on the unanimous consent on the approval of actions taken in committee of the whole.
14 yeas, 0 nays.
14 yeas, 0 nays. Motion to adopt those actions carries. Councilor Westmoreland. Chair Westmoreland. Thank you. Next up, we will move to Public Safety and Legal Administration. Chair Boone.
Thank you, Mr. President. We do not have a report today.
Thank you. Next, we'll move to City Utilities Committee. Chair Lewis.
Thank you, Mr. President. We do not have a report today.
Thank you. Next, we'll move to CDHS. Chair Winston.
Thank you, Council President. Colleagues, we had two items that were removed from the consent agenda. I'd like to make a motion to amend 25-R-3081. This will correct the language and add the word "the services."
Motion by Councilor Winston to amend 25-R-3081. Is there a second? Second by Councilor Norwood. Is there any discussion on the motion to amend this item? To leave the add the word conservancy? Correct. Yes. Hearing none, I'm comfortable doing this via names consent without objection. Any objection to the motion to amend? Madam Clerk, please sound the count of unanimous consent on the motion to amend this item.
13 yeas, 0 nays.
13 yeas, 0 nays. Motion to amend carries.
Thank you. The next item is 25-R-30. I'm sorry, yes. I'd like to make a motion to
There's a motion to adopt 25-R-3081 as amended by Councilor Winston. Is there a second? Second by Councilor Wong. Is there any discussion on the motion to adopt as amended this item? Hearing none, we'll move to vote. Madam Clerk, please open the vote on the motion to adopt this item as amended.
The vote is open. Will everyone please vote? The vote is closed. 13 yeas, 0 nays.
13 yeas, 0 nays. Motion to adopt as amended carries.
Thank you. The next item is 25-R-3086. Colleagues, this was the homeless task force paper that came out unanimously out of Community Development and Human Services. I'd like to make a motion to amend to add 3 additional organizations to the task force. That is American Friends Service Committee, Concerned Black Clergy, and Spark.
There's a motion to amend 25-R-3086 by Councilor Winston. Is there a second? Seconded by Councilor Bakhtiari. Is there any discussion on the motion to amend this item? Again, I'm comfortable doing this via unanimous consent. Any objections to the motion to amend? Madam Clerk, please sound the count of unanimous consent.
13 yeas, 0 nays.
13 yeas, 0 nays. The motion to amend carries.
Thank you. I'd like to make a motion to approve as amended.
There's a motion by Councilor Winston to adopt 24-R-3086 as amended, seconded by Councilor Bakhtiari. Is there any discussion on the motion to adopt as amended this item? Hearing none, move to vote. Madam Clerk, please open the vote on the motion to adopt as amended.
One moment. The vote is open. Will everyone please vote? The vote is closed. 14 yeas, 0 nays.
14 yeas, 0 nays. The motion to adopt as amended carries.
Thank you. This concludes my report.
Thank you. Next up today will be Transportation. Chair Amos.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have 2 items today. Ordinance for second reading. Item number 125-C-0005. That's item number 1 on page 46. Communication from Danielle Hampton, Chair, Audit Committee, submitting the performance audit report. Moving it now to forward to 2024 annual review. Motion to accept and file.
Motion to accept and file coming out of committee 25-C-0005. Doesn't need a second. Any discussion on the motion to accept and file this item? Given this communication, I'll comfortable doing this via any objections to the motion to accept and file the Madam Clerk, please sound the count and unanimous consent on the motion to accept and file.
13 yeas, 14 yeas, 0 nays.
14 yeas, 0 nays, motion to accept and file carries.
Second item, item 25-R-3117, item number 2 on page 46. A resolution by Transportation Committee authorizing the mayor or his designee to apply for grant funding from the U.S. Department of Transportation, Rebuilding America Infrastructure with Sustainability and Equity RODS grant in an amount not to exceed $2 million on behalf of the Atlanta Department of Transportation for the Centennial Yards Complete Street Project and for other purposes. Motion is to file.
Motion coming out of committee to file 24-R-3117. It does not need a second. Any discussion on the motion to file this item? Hearing none, move to vote. Madam Clerk, please open the vote on the motion to file.
The vote is open. I'd like you to please vote. The vote is closed. 14 yeas, 0 nays.
14 yeas, 0 nays, the motion to file carries.
Thank you, Mr. President, in my report.
Thank you.
15 yeas, Mr. President.
Let me just correct that on the motion to